He's a farmer's son from North Yorkshire and now works as a farm manager at Myton Hall Farms, a 1,200 acres beef, sheep and arable farm situated between York and Harrogate. He lives on the farm with his wife Becky, and he's going to talk to us about investigating different farming systems to improve efficiency in the UK beef industry. Richard.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to be here to talk about my Nuffield journey. Thanks must go to the Nuffield Farming Scholarship Trust for giving me the opportunity to undertake this scholarship, and to the Yorkshire Agricultural Society for sponsoring me. Thanks also to my many other sponsors. I'd like to thank my employer, Sir Ken Morrison, for his support, and my wife Becky for all her support and many hours helping me organise my trips. I'm currently employed as farm manager at Myton Hall Farms in North Yorkshire. We operate a 1,000-head beef finishing unit and run a flock of commercial ewes on the Myton Hall estate. As the beef unit is the core of our business, we're always looking to ways to improve. The recent economic downturn means that the British beef industry faces challenging times. Beef sales fell 10% in the period between 2011 and 2015. Probably caused by consumers turning to cheaper meats such as pork and poultry. Reduced demand for British beef has seen low fat prices whilst production costs remain high. The combination of high production costs, low fat prices and declining sales is not sustainable, and the industry must look to reduce production costs and maintain positive margins during periods of economic challenge. During my study tour, I visited the US, Canada, Australia, Brazil and Uruguay. I was hoping to bring back some ideas to the UK beef industry to help us improve. But for the rest of my talk, I'm going to focus on the lessons I learned in Australia and the US, as I feel these are most applicable to our own industry. The efficient production of high eating quality beef is a common aim in both Australia and the US, facilitated in these countries by supply chain integration and feedback. Australian County Choice is a multi-level company and sole supplier to Coles supermarkets. It operates a wholly integrated supply chain from breeding through to processing. Tight controls of every element of the chain means that they can produce consistently high-quality beef to an extremely tight carcass specification. The carcass consistency at ACC was probably the best I saw during my study tour. As carcass variation increases, so does processing costs. So a high level of consistency is something all beef producers should be aiming for. Advancements in technology can also be used to improve management systems and performance feedback. At Decatur County feed yards in northern Kansas, ultrasound and camera grading is being used to predict performance and decide on the most suitable management programs. On this slide here, this was quite an incredible setup, really. It had two of these lines running alongside each other. There was one guy at the beginning, and the whole line was computer controlled, and they were weighed, camera graded for hip height and width, and then ultrasound scanned for back fat. Then all this was entered into a computer algorithm which decided on sale date, feeding sort of management, and actual target market. And it was incredibly clean, and two, it was really impressive just to watch how actual computers can manage livestock. They also had a system of retained ownership, meaning that finishing performance has a financial significance to the breeder. This means performance data is more likely to influence breeding decisions. The positive effect on integration and retained ownership on the cattle management systems means my first recommendation to the UK beef industry is to improve supply chain integration by the introduction of retained ownership for breeders and the establishment of contract finishers to allow finishing performance to influence breeding decisions. The US beef industry is making use of performance testing to direct breeding strategies which are closely linked to profitability. In particular, many breeders in the US are using composite sires to improve efficiency and growth rates. Hybrid vigour is predicted to improve the inheritance of profit-linked traits such as feed efficiency. Nichols Farms in southern Iowa are respected breeders of both composite and purebred bulls. The farm constantly sees an increase in growth rates in composites versus purebred calves. Whilst crossbred cows are common in the UK, our industry advocates the use of purebred terminal sires. However, having seen the breeding benefits of composite terminal sires, my next recommendation is to focus cattle breeding programs on profit-linked traits such as net feed efficiency and utilise composite terminal sires to drive hybrid vigour and improve hereditability of these traits in the British beef herd. A major barrier to efficiency in the UK beef industry is the store period. The practice of storing cattle for periods after weaning to produce frame means that UK cattle finish at around 25 to 28 months old. Feed conversion efficiency is a measure of dry matter intake required to produce 1 kilo of live weight gain. As body weight increases, feed conversion efficiency decreases. This is shown in the graph on the left. Because of the store period, this means the majority of cattle finished in the UK are not fed efficiently from weaning. In the US and Australia, there is generally no store period. Instead, lighter, smaller animals enter the finishing period straight from weaning, which utilise a period of maximal feed efficiency and ensures animals are fed efficiently from weaning. This is shown in the graph on the right. Both these countries demonstrated that you can achieve good growth rates in the absence of a store period. So my next recommendation is to dispense with the current store period, move to finishing cattle at 12 to 16 months of age, meaning that cattle are fed efficiently from weaning to reduce finishing costs. Improving quality is another key factor in maintaining beef sales. This week's beef sales creates next week's beef sales. British producers are paid according to a carcass grading on the Europe grid, which is based on carcass conformation but not on eating quality. A more effective system is to use a grading system which rewards for producing high quality eating beef, encouraging producers to focus breeding and management towards this aim. This works well in both Australia and the US, where grading is based on factors affecting eating quality, such as ribeye area, colour, marbling, and the physiological age of the carcass. This slide shows the criteria of all the different grading systems I saw. The MLA is the Meat and Livestock Australia, United States Department of Agriculture, and then our own on the right. The USDA and MLA system focuses on ribeye area and loin, which are the highest value cuts. In contrast, the Europe grid is based on the rump, which has a lower value. Shown here with a sirloin at $9.90 a kilo and ribeye at $15.75 a kilo, whilst the rump is $8.80 a kilo and topside $5.65. Currently, UK producers are not rewarded for high eating quality, and I believe British beef could be improved by a different grading system. So I would recommend the introduction of a new grading system where grade and payment is based on beef eating quality rather than carcass conformation. The grading system should reward for tighter carcass specification to aid uniformity. Both the USDA and MLA extend their carcass grading into beef labelling, using grading systems as a marketing tool. Australian and American customers understand the correlation between carcass grade and eating quality and can use this knowledge to make purchasing decisions. Probably the most recognised brand on British beef is the Red Tractor, but this is more strongly associated with animal welfare rather than eating quality. The British beef industry has some of the best traceability and animal welfare legislation in the world. But more could be done to improve this by increasing the prominence of the branding, such as the red tractor on packaging. I would ideally like to see a combination of the red tractor with a new quality-based branding system, giving consumers confidence in both the provenance and quality of British beef. My final recommendation is to use the new quality-based grading system to develop a new quality-based branding system to justify pricing difference and allow consumers to make purchasing decisions based on eating quality. I will now summarise how I believe that all my recommendations are linked to the development of a new grading system. A quality-based grading system should provide financial rewards for producing high-quality beef. By rewarding for high eating quality, the grading system could encourage change in commercial cattle breeding, moving away from the current desire to breed cattle with large rumps, which has a detrimental effect on eating quality. By paying a premium for tighter carcass specification, the new grading system could be a major factor in encouraging producers to finish younger, lighter cattle, removing the need for the store period, and improving efficiency of the British beef production system. In order to make these changes, the UK beef industry will need to improve supply chain integration and feedback, and use knowledge sharing to work towards a common goal. If the UK beef industry can adapt in the ways I've outlined, I believe that we're in a strong position to establish a robust market for British beef as a high-quality, affordable product produced to some of the best animal welfare and traceability standards in the world. Thank you very much.